All right, so here, first thing you should know about the dating thing. I became intrigued by this when I wrote my book Financial Lovemaking when I was back on the faculty of Syracuse. So this stuff is really interesting to me, because who you choose to date has a big impact on your bank account. So one is from evolutionary psychology. And this is a risk taking and mate selection. So basically, evolutionary psychologists like David Buss, they have actually found that women are often drawn to risk taking behaviors, right? So the street stuff can be attractive. Like ladies confirm this if you've noticed this. Like sometimes the guy who's edgy and all that can be exciting. They're drawn to risk taking behaviors. Why? Well, because they historically signal risk taking historically signals strength, resource acquisition, and protection. That's what and really goes back to life. You have this sayings like nothing ventured, nothing gained, right? So people who are courageous, who take chances, tend to have the best outcomes. But they also can have bad things that happen, right? You go to war, you become a war hero because you had courage and you fought in the battle, but you also could have died, right? So basically, men who take risks, whether it's in sports, business, or the streets, may unconsciously trigger attraction as potential mates who can survive and provide. So there is the perception that the dude who's in the streets making it happen has a survival instinct that might be protective for the family. I don't know if that's always true, but I know that that's what the evolutionary biology tends to say. And I don't think that's completely out of the question. My father, I would say my father that raised me was a little bit of a street dude when he was younger, and he's actually killed people, and he wasn't scared of anything. And any courage you see from me actually came from him. The only difference was, though, he learned the difference between irrational risk and calculated risk. Right there's irrational risk where you're taking penitentiary chances. So you go out and shoot somebody over $25, versus rational risk where you say, look, I'm taking a chance on this business. It might fail, but it might succeed, and then I can become wealthy. Right? Let me know if you know the difference. Right? There's a difference between stupid risk and smart risk, right? So when you talk about risk, it's about being strategic and calculated, but risk taking, generally speaking, according to evolutionary biology, is actually an attractive feature for women because women are intuitively smart. They know that those who take risks and take chances typically have more confidence, they typically have more skill, and then when they win, they really win big, right? That guy who takes chances has a greater likelihood of being the millionaire, the billionaire, the power broker, whatever. Let me know if you get what I'm saying. Give me a yes in the chat if you're following this. The second theory is something called assortive mating theory. And assortive mating theory basically says that people often select partners who match their own values, behaviors, or worldview, right? So if she grew up on hood music and hood stuff, then she's going to be attracted to a hood dude, right? A woman who resists conventional norms may be drawn to a partner who lives outside of traditional structures, such as a 9 to 5 job. This alignment reinforces her own sense of identity and rebellion. So that rebellious spirit, that man who stands outside on the margins and ain't scared to sort of do his own thing, sometimes that's appealing to women. There's also something, and ladies got to watch out for this. This is a big deal. This is dark triad personality theory. Has anybody ever heard of that? Let me know if you heard of dark triad personality theory. Dark triad traits. Tell me if you know anybody that might fit any of these. Narcissism, Machiavellianism, and psychopathy. They show that these characteristics can increase short term mating success because they signal confidence, charisma, and fearlessness. So, a lot of you ladies have to be really careful. I know that they tell you that women are supposed to run around and do everything that men do, but the problem is that, and this is one critique of feminism that I've seen, is that when you have women that are just like, "Hey, I met you 20 minutes ago, let's go have sex," you open up yourself to the dark triads. A lot of you ladies, give me a yes in the chat if you've ever dated a narcissist or a psychopath, right? And what's fascinating, I knew a lady once, a true story. There was a sister who came to my event, and she said to me, she said, I dated a guy for 6 weeks, and he was a great guy, and he love bombed me. He was the most amazing guy ever, best sex and all this stuff.